Hello.
Is this Portia Nathan?
Yes?
It's John Pressman
From the New Quest School. I'd like for you to visit our campus.
Can you please email me and I will call you back?
Hey,
Not so rough. How'd you like to have your udder yanked like that?
Excuse me?
Welcome to What the Flick, everybody. Ben Mankiewicz, Alonso Duralde, Christy Lemire. Admission, Tina Fey, Paul Weitz.
None of us went to Princeton, so really none of us is qualified to say whether this film is good or accurate or anything. We went to real schools, though, kind of.
SMU?
I didn't. These guys went to real schools. I did not.
Please.
So Tina Fey is the tightly wound admissions director. She's an
Officer.
officer.
She's an admissions
She's one
officer.
of them at Princeton, and she's under pressure at home and at work to be perfect all the time. And she's up for a promotion, so she goes out to the crunchy granola alternative high school in the New England woods called New Quest, at the urging of her former Dartmouth classmate, played by Paul Rudd.
How did you remember the name of the school?
New Quest.
Okay.
Because all in here, baby. So they meet and sparks supposedly fly, but they don't really. Please take a look.
This parenthood thing. What am I doing wrong?
There's no one best way to do it, or so I have gathered with my vast experience reading personal essays.
Hey, Portia, are you gonna be my mom?
What?
Just messing with you.
Okay, so this is not funny, and a huge disappointing waste of two people who have never worked together and should be just like gangbusters, and are not.
And because I love them both so much, and I think that Paul Rudd has a little Cary Grant in him when the role is right and the moment is right, and I love Tina Fey, I decided to overlook the flaws and,
that's good of
and
you.
enjoy it anyway. And I think it's
That's very generous.
I think people, you guys obviously don't, but I think people are capable of that. Like as I was watching this and I'm looking around
We
the
are
theater.
not.
I looked around. No, I mean I think others of perhaps of less stature, of course.
That's what you meant.
Regular people. I'm the regular guy on the panel. So I don't know. I liked it anyway, knowing full well that I was going to run into a roadblock.
Please, can you explain why?
Yes, because
I found them so likable. It is not really funny, but I didn't find it completely unfunny.
And there's your blurb.
Right. Yeah. And it reached the point where these two enormously likable people do likable things. It's not, what happens is not implausible. Lily Tomlin and Tina Fey scenes together were funny enough
Those are the
to
only
me.
good parts.
okay, but then they get this big dramatic.
I don't want to be challenged.
Please.
Step back. It happens. No, there's a big dramatic moment later on between the two of them. That's like, where did this come from?
Between her and Tina Fey.
But the Lily Tomlin Tina Fey, like this big sort of throwdown, like really awful things are said, and sort of mother-daughter things are unearthed, and it's like, whoa, nothing in the movie has prepared us for this at all.
I guess there had been estrangement and there's bitterness from the first couple of meetings.
But it goes from 0 to 60. You're like, wow, hey, did I miss? Were there 4 scenes cut that would have gotten us to this point?
Yeah.
You know, early on, just based on the way she talks to her mom and how odd Lily Tomlin is, that it is either like it's 72% likely to be, oh, she's just one of those quirky Earth mothers, right? Or this was a woman who provided sort of no emotional stability growing up, which is what in that fight it turns out that's what it was.
I really was annoyed by how the women characters are treated in this film, because Tina Fey, smart woman, very sort of outspoken, feminist and everything, and her character is fine, the usual sort of like she's smart and capable but still dithering in a mess, and okay, whatever. But there are 3 other female characters of consequence, and they are Lily Tomlin as a first wave feminist who becomes a puddle of goo when she gets fucked once by a guy.
But she's wearing a cowboy boots when she fucks him, so that's okay.
Okay, well, all right, fine. Then there is the co-worker that is competing with Tina Fey for the promotion, who is Gloria Reuben, who is a monster. And there is the woman who steals Tina Fey's man, Michael Sheen, away, who is also a monster. Yeah. And that's it.
Let's think. Are there any female...
not funny is the key thing
Also
for this
not
movie.
funny,
It's like Burt Wonderstone. All these funny people in it, funny situations, not funny.
Yeah, it's a bummer because Tina Fey is singularly uptight and rigid and precise, and Paul Rudd is always adventurous and open-minded, and neither of them changes the other, right? A, they don't belong together, but B, the source of comedy should be from the conflict of them cajoling and changing each other, and that never happens.
They're oil and water in this movie.
And you kind of don't want to see them together, and And of course, in romantic comedy, they're going to end up together, but you don't want to see that with these people.
Yeah, there's never that sort of driving, I want them to, it's sort of like, well, I guess inevitably they will get together because that's how these movies go, but I don't care.
But he should go off to Indonesia with his adopted son and go make more
Well, I think the adopted son wants to stay home. That was the most interesting character. I liked the adopted son, and I liked the college kid that, that's the autodidact genius boy at Paul Rudd's, crunchy high school,
I'm looking through the cast list. There's like 75 people in this movie, and I keep thinking, who were you? Who were they? Yeah, I can't.
Michael Sheen was her boyfriend.
Yeah, Michael Sheen recreating their relationship from 30 Rock, which I thought was cute.
I kept thinking he was Steve Coogan.
I love, I can't remember her name, but that's what I was looking for, but then it turns out there's 6 billion people. The man stealing, who has, it's no role. She just sits there and frowns and but it's Desmond's girlfriend from Lost.
Oh.
And we love her.
I never saw Lost. I never saw a single episode of Lost. Not one.
I watched only the last episode.
Oh, that must have been. You must have loved that. Yeah.
I live blogged it. It was interesting.
That's funny. That's so funny. I would like to go back.
This is a bummer, though. This is not funny. And I also, if indeed this is how the admissions process goes down, that's kind of an interesting little peek behind the scenes. But I'm shocked that Princeton would give their name to this movie. By the way,
a little bit.
Yeah, it doesn't make them look good.
I liked. What I didn't like. I liked the idea, and then didn't like the execution. There was an opportunity for great humor in the way that they went through applications. Then you would see the person sort of appearing as an apparition, making their case, and that like almost never was funny, and that certainly could have been funny.
It's a cute idea.
It's a cute idea, but it didn't really work.
The whole movie for me felt like, this is about to get good. Where's this going to go?
For me,
not anywhere interesting.
For me, it's just proof that this is how big a sucker I am. If you make a romantic comedy with people I really like, I will like it.
Okay.
Like that's it. Like I'm that easy. And I like Tina Fey and Paul Rudd so much that I think it sort of makes it, and it's not long.
It's like 96
minutes. Yeah, they make for a relatively bright 90 minutes.
It's directed by Paul Weitz, and he and his brother Chris did About a Boy and In Good Company, which are sort of smart, kind of adult, middle to highbrowish comedies, and there's just none of that spark here.
It's the script that's the problem.
Oh, right? I'm told that he futzed with the script a bunch, but who knows? Okay. Everybody's got their side of it.
Even though I don't even disagree with anything you say, but I still think after all this, whatever the 95 minutes they came up with, that it has a nice way about it.
It's the kind of movie you watch on an airplane when you're only half paying attention and you just want to see pleasant people.
And you're ordering drinks.
Yes.
I liked it. I gave it a 6.7. I liked it enough with all my reservations.
Happy birthday, Jank.
I gave it a 3.
A little warning, these guys don't add up to 6.7.
No, I gave it a 3.
3.3.
Well, that pulls it up to a 4.3. I did what I could.
So where is it in tomato land?
So it's we're a little ahead of it. It's at 37%.
That's Ben's fault. Bye.